what to do in the current market is something which people are unable to decide, and those who are able to decide are unable to stand family and friends pressure in deciding what to do. So I have two friends, extremely well qualified. Don't even get into the fact that they may not be well qualified. They're very well qualified. In fact, they're the best qualifications in the country. If I tell you their qualifications, they will know I'm talking about them. These are the guys who are expected not to panic. Now, the first guy called up and said, do you think I should liquidate all my equity? That was sometime in March when the market had just started falling. I said, how much money do you have in equity? He had about 30% of his wealth in equity. And I said, are you selling equity because you can't sell your real estate? He smiled and he said, yeah, I can't seem to get rid of my real estate in other places, so I think I should sell my equity because I think the market will fall. But it was not that he was saying the market will fall, because by the time he was calling me, the market had already panicked and fallen in the month of March. And he said, look, I'm only 3 years away from retirement. I cannot afford to take so much of risk, so I must sell. What do you think? Now, these are people who just call up once in a while. They have already made up their mind. So calling me is just for me to endorse them into saying, great idea, fantastic, you must do it. Now I very rarely oblige. I said, well, you are an awesome example of what one should not do. And I'll be very happy, because if you sell, that signals the nadir of the market, and after that the market will go up. He had a nice laugh. And after 10 days, I get a WhatsApp message that he had actually sold. And by the time he reacted to me saying that I have actually sold, he had sold perhaps at the nadir, and the market had gone up. And when the market goes up, these are typical people, they will again come up saying, oh, I have no regrets, it is still okay, I don't need the money now, or some shit like that. So this is one case. The other guy is a very big man in a big merchant banking institution, internationally well known. Of course, he does not do funds, he does something else. So he also did the same thing. He sold, I think, index, or I think it was Franklin India Blue Chip, absolutely at the nadir, and he said, oh, I'm very happy, I've repaid my debt. And I called up a friend and said, what the hell is he doing? Because these are just friends, these are not, so he said, no, he felt that that day was a good day to sell. I said, remember, that was the day when you bought, and this guy was suddenly sitting on 30% profit. Simply, please understand one thing, when market falls vertically, it recovers vertically for at least half the distance. So the market fell, yes, 42,000 to maybe 32,000, but 32,000 to 35, 36,000, and by the time they are talking to me, it is already at 36,000, and they have sold at 32,000 and repaid their debt. They are very happy that they repaid their debt, which they should have done maybe at 42, but in retrospect I am saying that. But when you have 7 years to go for retirement, or 8 years to go for retirement, or even 3 years to go for retirement, why would you sell at the nadir and then think we have done a smart thing? So I guess, like what Napoleon said, keeping your head when everybody around you is running like headless chicken is the very simple way to win a war. And that is exactly what you have to do in the market. Just sit tight. I'm not saying you should sell off everything and put money into debt, and nor am I saying you sell off all the debt, sell off your house and gold and put it into equity. I'm not saying that. Just maintain your balance. You don't have to do anything during panic situations. Just sitting tight. Is it so difficult not to do anything? I bought very heavily in the month of March because I have an existing portfolio, and those shares I was anyway willing to add. I was anyway willing to add an Indigo, an EID Parry, Cholamandalam, Sun Pharma, because I said at these prices it can't be too bad. At 320 rupees, Sun Pharma couldn't be too bad. At 110 rupees, EID Parry couldn't be too bad. Not that I was adding to my portfolio and reducing my average cost, but I knew one thing, even if I were to just add it to my existing portfolio, and I was taking very small bets, I was not betting the house on that, because I knew, okay, it could go down even further. Or State Bank of India at 152, or Motherson Sumi at 47, at 58 Shanti Gears. To me, none of these shares, or Vedanta at 66, 67, none of these shares I knew I could lose money by buying at 100. These are all things which are already there in my portfolio. I knew I could sell it on the way up, somewhere on the way up, and I could sell this, right? So I am not saying market was at its lowest and it was the best time to buy, but I bought because these are shares which I was willing to bet, and I knew that I had the cash to buy it, and I sold some of them also, and they've gone up after that. Like I sold, I think EID Parry for less than 200. Now it is close to 300. It's not more than 300, but 110 to 200 is not a bad run at all when everybody is running around like headless chicken. So just keep your cool. Even if you didn't do these transactions the way I did, or I bought a lot of PSU because I believe PSUs had been hammered down just too much. 22 rupees, you can't get a Bhel Puri for 22 rupees, and BHEL was available at 22 rupees, or a Tata Power at 30 rupees. To me, these are absolutely prices which would bring I always say that it brings liquid to your face. It either brings liquid to your tongue or it brings liquid to your eyes. So depending on how you buy, but all you have to do was sit tight, do nothing. And these are well qualified, educated people who have done this in the past. In fact, I joked to one guy and said, please tell me when you finish selling, because for me you are the bellwether. When you sell, that is the signal that the market is going to go up. I don't understand why educated people should do such things and screw up their assets which they have. Just sit tight. Are you finding it so difficult? Then maybe you're in the wrong place. And I know people who would call up their brokers and sell, and the brokers would call me and say, Subra, your friend is doing this and your friend is doing that. Why don't you convince him? It's none of my business, convince him or convince her. They just do what they want, and they're all and then they regret, and then they will say, oh, it's okay, because they're all earning very well. It's not that it will make any change in their lifestyle, but the same things they do again and again, which I can't understand, because these are the same guys who panicked in 2007, 2008, same guys who are panicking now. They panicked earlier. I can't understand their behavior. So behavior is difficult, but if you don't understand, sit tight. It helps, provided you have a good portfolio. Thank you.